Okay, so I really want you to understand this. Consciously manifesting is doing what we do all the time consciously. Read that with me, and then I will explain why you perceive manifesting as something difficult. So again, consciously manifesting our desires and our goal is doing what we do all the time anyways, simply consciously. So let me explain what I mean by that, because here's something that I observed. So the reason, right, what if I tell you that the reason you find conscious manifesting difficult is the fact that you declared it as something unnatural in the first place? I have this impression very often that people still think that manifesting is like a choice, like I can turn it on or off. Either I can do it or I can't do it. It's something very special that you can like acquire this level and then you can start to manifest. And then I hear people who, after they manifested something, they say, okay, now I think manifesting really is like a real thing. Now I really believe in it. But that question isn't even there in the first place. Manifesting is not something you can do or not do. It is the foundation of your life. It is always happening. We always express things. We always move first within, and then our outer body, so to speak, moves. Everything happens first within and then without. Try to go to the grocery store without first having made the decision, having pictured the new food in your fridge, having pictured the meal that you want to eat. First, you decide, okay, I will go there. You maybe picture yourself there. Maybe it's just a sheer direct decision. But where is that taking place? It's taking place inside of you. Right? And then your outer body starts to put on clothes or put on the shoes, and then you start to go to the grocery store, right? And then you end up being there, and then you end up coming back, and then you have the food that maybe an hour ago you just envisioned, you just decided you will eat today. And then you bought it, you brought it home, and then you ate it. Right? That is manifesting, right? It's always happening, making the non-tangible, what is not manifested yet, the unseen, making it seen. Look at your life, look at your day-to-day life. This is always happening. You could not even stand up. If you're sitting right now, maybe you're watching this video on your phone, maybe you're watching this on your laptop, you cannot stand up right now without first deciding that, without first imagining that, without first visualizing, imagining that. It is first taking place within you, and then under compulsion, the outer you, the outer man basically follows the inner man, right? The lead is the inner man. The inner man is leading. Right? So the question is, where do you place the inner man consciously? And then the outer man has to follow. But the fact that you think, oh, now, yeah, Nicholas, you can't compare manifesting me doubling my salary, me doubling my income, me manifesting this relationship, me manifesting health, and any other potential desires you might have. Nicholas, you can't compare that with going to the grocery store with, if you, let's just say your computer mouse is broken and you need a new mouse, then you first decide that, you imagine that you have this new mouse, but it happens so automatically. You don't imagine like a long visualization scene. It happens fluidly, but then you end up with the new product, with the new thing also on the outside. It's happening all the time. But again, manifesting is not something you can do or not do. But what you can do is you can decide to do it more consciously. You can start to see that it's going on all the time. You can start to see that it's happening all the time. And then you can say, hey, where would I like to make something conscious? Where would I like to consciously bring forth and express new circumstances by within shifting first? Right? So manifesting your main desires will no longer seem out of reach when you understand that there is no difference than you manifesting, you deciding that you want to call your friend, meet up with your friend, and then you just grab the phone, you call him, and he says, yeah, let's meet at 7 p.m., and then you guys meet. That's also manifesting, right? But just so fluidly. And I want you to understand that manifesting your biggest desire works the same way. Yes, there might be a backstory that you're still attached to, right? Yes, there might be emotions that are still arising that you're still like involved in, but that doesn't take away the truth that manifestation is something natural. But if you declare that, hey, manifesting my goal, that is unnatural, this is special, this requires tons of work and effort, well, you made it that. You declared it to be that way. You will therefore perceive it that it is so unnatural. But it is actually not. It's something very normal which happens all the time. Okay? So here I have an example, right? Going for a walk in the park follows the same procedure as manifesting to double your salary. Inner movement precedes. The inner man moves first. You first say, hey, I sat for a long time. Now I want to be out in the park. Now I want to go for a walk. I want to have some fresh air. Right? And if you don't, let's just say, intervene with that, if you don't imagine something else, like sitting on the couch, if that is your decision, right, then you will have no choice to externally act under compulsion, put on your jacket, and go out and end up in this park, which is previously only something you have decided inside of you. So also, the big question is, how do you perceive your desires in the first place? Right? Do you perceive your desires, what you want to manifest, as separate realities? Right? As something far away that needs a long time to attract towards you, and hopefully you're on the right vibration so that you attract it right towards you? Or do you see your desires as existing states, existing realities inside of yourself, inside of your imagination, inside of your awareness? Right? That's a huge difference. Right? And like Neville Goddard said, to desire a state is to have it. Right? If you can desire something, that means that this state is inside of you, available, and you have to simply fuse with it. You have to occupy it. You have to align with it. You have to shift in it. And how do we do that? Through our imagination. Right? By seeing the world through the lens of our desired version. By seeing the world through the lens of the best version of ourselves. By seeing the world through the lens of that version of ourselves that already has achieved the goal. Right? And if you say, yeah, manifestation is something unnatural, it's difficult, I really, really desire to move somewhere, to live somewhere else, to travel more, to have more freedom, more abundance, more health, to love my life, to be happy, to have a relationship, to have this relationship that I want, to have my business, to have my purpose, whatever you desire, right? If you push that away because you say, that's so difficult, it's so unnatural, manifestation is something so special, what happens is that your dissatisfaction grows because you push your desires away. And that's not helpful, right? You should not push your desires away. Those are your guides of things that want to be expressed through you, through your unique expression of life, right? So you should not question your desires. You should take them on as they come and know that they exist and know that you have them because they do exist and they can be manifested. Otherwise, you would not have the desire. So no matter which desires you have, manifesting is nothing unnatural. It is the foundation of your life. What is the foundation of life? The expression of states, right? Awareness, being identified with states, which are then expressed in our world, right? But we're not the state. We're also not the circumstance. We're simply awareness passing through states, moving through states. And that is a good news because if you now find yourself stuck, unhappy, dissatisfied, well, that's okay because that's not final. That's simply a state you're in right now. But by you occupying a new state, imagining a new state, fusing with a new version of yourself, that is then expressed. That is then what you get mirrored back. Right? So your belief that a desire is not possible is the reason you're stuck, is the reason why you struggle, is the reason why you think in the first place that, this main desire that I have, wow, that requires so much more effort, that's so special, that's so difficult. But if you literally look at it the same way that it is also the same as you deciding to go in the grocery store, that is first an inner decision, an inner movement. You place yourself within and already having bought your favorite food, and then externally you move there automatically. The same with manifesting a car, for example, right? You first imagine holding the car keys, and then externally things will happen, the bridge will unfold in its mysterious way so that you also end up there, being the owner of this car, holding the car keys in your external hand. It's always the inner man first, the outer man follows, right? And also what most people quite sadly have lost is they lost the trust in themselves, right? You maybe lost trust in yourself and your ability to shift in a new state, right? You have forgotten how life works. You have lost yourself. You got too entangled in your current state, in your current circumstances, in what is right now there, and you think, yeah, so that is what it is, and oh, my desire, that's so far away, that's so difficult, that would be so nice. What do you do by that? You just fuel the desire by thinking of it. You just desire it more, and it will become even more depressing when you desire and keep desiring all the time. It's like you being hungry, and you just say, yeah, actually, no, I'm not hungry, and then the hunger gets strong, and then you say, no, I'm not hungry, and then after 6 hours, you really are super hungry, so you need to satisfy your hunger. Physically, you do that by eating food, right? Spiritually, you satisfy your spiritual hunger, you satisfy your hunger for an experience that wants to be made through you, that's why you have the desire. You satisfy that hunger by experiencing the wishes already being fulfilled, right? So you really want that, What would it be like if you would have that? What would imply that? What would your best friend say to you? What would your family members say to you? What would you do? You experience that inside. Your hunger is satisfied. You imagine your desire is fulfilled. It is done inside of you. That's it. That was the wish fulfilled. It's done. And then the outside world, functioning as a confirming mirror, will reflect back to you what you already gave yourself inside. Because the world is nothing as a confirming mirror. It shows you what you first gave yourself internally. Right? So it's nothing to blame on the outside. It's nothing that we need to try to accomplish so seekingly, in a sense, on the outside. It's more within giving us what we seek. If it's the love, if it's a companionship, if it's the commitment, if it's the partnership, if it's the relationship, if it's the wealth, if it's the financial abundance, if it's a business success. I can go on and on and on. You give yourself that, and then, because that state becomes more and more natural, that is then expressed through you, right? Life happens through you, not to you. You within shift, and then through you, you externally move, you act under compulsion based on where you're within, and then you end up on the outside where you already have been on the inside. And that happens unconsciously, all the time, and that can also happen consciously, right? I shared with you those minor examples, such as going in the grocery store, going for a walk in the park, meeting with a friend, right? And then you decide that, and then he calls you, you call him. It just happens so fluidly. But the same is also true for your main desires. There is no difference. It's that same principle, just that you think for your main desires it requires something more special, instead of actually also understanding that manifesting is happening all the time. So take a deep breath and apply the same way you applied automatically for the simple little things basically in your life. Understand that the same principle works also for your main desires. Okay, it's manifesting is something natural. It's not something you can switch on or off. It's not something you can say, oh, now I learned about law of assumption, now I manifest. No, you manifest it all your life. You manifest it all the time. And our goal, of course, is it to some degree become more self-aware of what we entertain within, where we dwell within. Not hyper-monitoring everything and trying to be perfect, but understanding that why would we continue to dwell on negative moods if we see that they then reflect in our outside world? We can then see, hey, no, I don't want to dwell here. I give my attention to that inner state, to that inner reality, and I stay here. Right? That is the purpose, right? That you do it more consciously, so that you do what you've done all the time, unwittingly and unconsciously, that you do that now consciously. But it is not something unnatural. So stop declaring conscious manifesting is something special, unnatural, woo-woo-ish, crazy. It is a very natural thing in life that every human does, if they know it or not. Right? And of course, my purpose is to help you do it in a better fashion, do it more consciously, so that you can consciously manifest your desired life circumstances and your goals. If you need help with that, you can of course check out my program that is in the video description. And if you have any questions, any feedback, any comments, you can always post them in the comment section. I like to read your insights, guys, your updates, your successes, your feedback. And I look forward to speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.